This tutorial is a solution to IEB May 2023 Paper 2, Question 3, Part B, Debtors Age Analysis. We have been provided with an extract of the debtors ledger of GP Tool Distributors, and their debtor is Builders Warehouse. The debtors ledger is for 3 months, December, January and February, and as at the end of February, they owe a total of $811,520. On your answer sheet, you asked to complete the debtors age analysis for Builders Warehouse for February 2023, and your instruction is that you do not have to total the age analysis columns. My suggestion is, as you start, that you write the months on top of the aging columns. So our current month would be February. "30 days would be January, and 60 days and older would be December. Let's go and have a look at December. There's a balance brought down on the 1st of December of $1,215,000, so that was for transactions prior to December, and then on the 16th they paid an amount of $824,500. The balance is $390,500. Let's go and put that into our age analysis. Balance in December was $1,215,000, and they made a payment of $824,500. We need to show that in brackets because it will reduce the amount owed. Moving on to January, there was an invoice for $243,600, and that was followed by a credit note of $14,230. Now, a credit note will always be deducted from the most recent invoice because a customer is only given so many days to return the goods. And an invoice will always be recorded in the month of the sale. So in January, we've got an invoice for $243,600. And from that, we're going to subtract that credit note of $14,230. That must be subtracted. Then going back to the debtors ledger, we've got a payment of $420,750 and a discount of 8,415 Rand was allowed, plus another invoice. Now let's concentrate on this payment that Builders Warehouse made. The rule is that you normally take it off your oldest debt. So here's our oldest debt up here. But be very careful because look at that balance in December. It's $390,500. So we can't take that full amount off. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the $390,500, and that will leave us with a balance of nil in December. Now we've still got some of that payment left, and if you subtract those two figures, you've still got 30,250, which we're now going to subtract from the January amount owing, 30,250. So the payment is spread over the 2 months, so much in January and so much in December. Then carrying on, what else happens in January? We've got a discount allowed and we've got the invoice. So both of those will be entered into our January column, 8,415. That's discount, and discount will obviously be subtracted. And then we've got an invoice for $679,850. And that takes us to the end of January. Let's move on to February. February, we've got a credit note. Now, if you recall, I said a credit note always gets subtracted from the most recent invoice. This invoice was from the 30th of January and they're returning the goods on the 2nd of February. So it's a few days later. So that credit note there, we're going to put into our January column. So from January, we're going to subtract 2,525 Rand minus. Then we've got an invoice, but the invoice is in February. And if you have a look, that's already been entered into February for you. We've got one more entry here, and that is a receipt, a payment, 243,750. If you have a look at your January balance, then there's the credit note. It's 868,030. So we're going to take that full amount off of January. Let's subtract that. 243,750. Now, you were told that you don't have to total your age analysis columns, but I want to do that just to show you something in case you don't know, in order to check if you've got this right. So in December, the balance is nil. In January, if you total that, there's a balance of 624,280. And then the balance for February is obviously this one outstanding invoice, 187,240. Now, if you add those two figures together, they must total the 811,520, which is your balance on your statement, and they do. So you know then that your age analysis is right. That takes us to the end of that question.